Hello everybody, welcome back to the RIGT Network channel. And today we are going to be going over a preview of the RG Open. It is currently the day before the first round, and I just thought I'd share some key insights or questions that we could ask ourselves about the tournament. And just want to preface things, if you are not already, please subscribe, as I do want to drop some content occasionally like this, tournament previews and all that stuff. So along with that, if you are new to RIGT in general, I highly recommend you go over to our channel and you check out our tutorial series. We made 3 videos that really will help you understand the game better and will teach you a lot of valuable insights from a very good player. So I really do hope you will check out those if you are new, because they could help you compete in the upcoming tournament. So without any further delay, let's get into it. Alright, so a quick overview of the course. It is 10,436 studs long, which is the longest course there is in RIGT. It is also a par 70, so only 2 par 5s, but the par 5s here are not scoring opportunities, unlike some courses like Augusta National. It is ranked first in difficulty of all existing courses, so that surpasses Augusta National, which we already saw posted some pretty high scores. And I really think, coming into the next point, the reason why is because of how sloped and fast these greens are. As I'll show you guys later in the video, these greens are very sloped. There is only a fraction of the green that you can hold the ball on, and they are quick. Not as fast as Montauk like we saw at the PGA, but it is getting close to it, so golfers will really have to be careful around the greens and on their approach shots here if they want to hold a shot onto the green. And honestly, if I had to pinpoint a key part of the game that's going to be important, driving is going to be pretty important, but if you can hold an approach shot onto a green, you're going to be gaining a shot, bare minimum. Because once you're on the green, putting shouldn't be too hard. And yeah, that's all I got to say about the greens. But some of the key holes that I'm going to go over real quick is hole number 1, which is a replica of Pinehurst number two's opening hole. It is a short par 4 that is a pretty decent scoring opportunity if you can hold the green that is 3-tiered and slopes from back to front. It is a opportunity to start out with the birdie or better, and will really help you get your round started. Hole 5 as well is another shorter par 4 with a 3-tiered green. Another scoring opportunity with the pin in the front. It can be pretty accessible with a backstop behind the pin for round 1, so that'll be another hole to look out for players to score on. Next hole, hole 7, it is a short par 4 dogleg right that some players will be hitting irons off the tee and having a short iron or wedge on the approach. It is a very short hole, but this green is 2-tiered and slopes to the left. If you are not careful, you can leave yourself in a really bad spot that can lead to bogey or worse. Hole 8, the longest or second longest par 4 on the course, but I would say it is the hardest hole on the course when the tees are all the way back, which for round 1 they are not. So hole 8 probably has the tightest drive on the course, and the green complex, which I do have a picture of to show you guys later in the video, is one of the most difficult and hardest to hold on the course. So you're hitting a 3-wood, 5-wood, 7-wood into that green. Getting a ball to stop on there is going to be pretty hard. So heading into the back 9 here, another key hole to look out for is hole 12, which is a drivable par 4 when the tees are up on Sunday, or excuse me, on Wednesday, because we're doing it on a weekday. So hole 12, when the tees are back, which they are for the first round, you will probably be hitting an iron off the tee to stay in the fairway. Some players can hit a longer tee shot, like a 3-wood or a 5-wood, to chase it up into a cross bunker to have a shorter approach, but it's truly the player's choice. But other than that, it's a pretty short par 4, which we could see some pretty high scores on, coincidentally, because the green complex is the smallest and probably the most undulating on the course. So you really have to be precise because it's such a short hole. Next hole, hole 15, which is pictured right here, the green complex at least. It is a pretty long par 4 with an intriguing tee shot that has a narrow alleyway to hit it through, but the approach shot, as you can see here, is surrounded by 3 bunkers, left, long, and right. So short, not a bad miss here, but the two-tiered green is pretty easy to navigate, but your approach shot is definitely going to be the key on this hole. Where you leave it can severely affect what score you make. And of course, hole 18, the closing hole, which is a very long par 4. I do believe it is the longest in RIGT, and it is a slight dogleg right over a sea of bunkers, and by sea of bunkers, I say that quite literally, into a very big green that is 3-tiered and has a slight backstop on the left side, but with the pin on the top right section for today or tomorrow, it will be hard to access from back there, but it is a likely driver for anybody when the tees are back. And so those are some of the key holes I wanted to highlight that are hard or easy or notable. And last thing to preface here is we can expect an over par winner. I do believe that this course is the hardest by a mile, and I really do believe that whoever wins this tournament, they will be over par, because I do not see a way in which in 3 days someone learns the ins and outs of this course so well that they're able to shoot around under par. And just to give you some background information, I made the course. I've played it at least 15 times, and I still struggle to shoot under par. So I do believe that it is the toughest test, and we will get whoever wins this will be the best golfer of the week. On to our next part, our overview of the players. So we have some picks here. The obvious pick, Benji Mako. He's won the last like 5 majors, I think. He's it's getting hard to count. He will be looking at the British Open, the next tournament after the RG Open, to complete the career Grand Slam, which I'm sure he definitely has his eyes on, because last year he wasn't, or I believe he did play in the 2024 um, British Open, but he just did not finish well. But other than that, it's a fairly obvious pick. Won the PGA Championship on the last hole from another golfer that I'm going to mention on this screen. But yeah, if you're going to pick someone to win, Benji Mako is your guy. So, onto our underdog picks. These are some guys that I think have a slight chance to win, but I definitely think they can push it up the leaderboard to top 5, and they're not going to be like your big names like Benji Mako. So my first underdog pick here is going to be LT Smalls. He finished third at Montauk with some fast greens, and he really surprised, I think, everybody by finishing third there, because he had a pretty good showing. For someone with not as much experience as him, he was able to navigate around the course pretty well, and he shot a 59 on his last day, which was very impressive as he finished third, above notables like It's Jonas and Bobbert. So he had a really good showing there at Montauk, and I do believe that since these are faster greens as well, that he can have a good showing if he learns to navigate the slopes well. So my next underdog here is going to be Bobbert. As you can see here, back-to-back top 5s on 2 pretty hard courses in majors, and he does have a pretty good history on sloped greens, as at the RG Open in 2025, the last one, which was, wait, no, that's 2024. What am I doing? But he did finish, I believe he finished 6th in that tournament. He had an under par round, but the last round he was unfortunately rushed, so he shot a 5 over par, which did not help his case as he was even par leading into it. But I do believe that Bobbert, he plays good on tough golf courses, and I do believe he has a shot at winning, and I do believe he will continue his top 5 streak here at Northern Pines. Alright, on to the players to watch. These guys are pretty, I would say, bigger names than my underdogs, but you still want to keep an eye out for them because they could win on any given day. My first name, going to be Super Doge. He did miss the cut at the PGA Championship, but on at the Masters, he was coming off a second place finish. So this guy, he can go low. He can finish well in tournaments. That is his second consecutive finish in second place at the Masters, so he's still coming off two bitter finishes there, but he hasn't had a win yet, and he has come close so many times, and I think everybody in RIGT would be stoked to see him win, including myself. I would just love to see him get over the finish line at some point, and I believe he has a chance. He's always been up there in tournaments. At last year's RG Open, he did make the cut, didn't play too well, but I do think that he can learn from his mistakes here and learn to navigate sloped greens because they are a relatively new addition to RIGT. So I think he can learn, he can adapt. He's not a dumb player, so I do believe he has a chance at this tournament. My next notable here is going to be It's Jonas, and he is returning from his second or his absence, as he did leave the league at one point, but this is his second tournament back, I believe. Yep. And last time he finished fourth at Montauk Point, despite being inactive for a decent amount of time. So I really do think that Jonas has a chance. He was the second best player back in 2024 to 2025 official world golf rankings. Before he left the league, he was always sitting around second, third, so he was definitely there. So I do believe that he has the talent to win. But my only concern for him would be he's never played on sloped greens before, so he's really going to have to learn if he does want to win or even get a top five. So I do think he has the talent, definitely, but he's going to have to learn to play on sloped greens. And then my last player to watch here is going to be Astrojet. He is coming off a brutal second place finish at the PGA where he was beaten on the 18th hole by a hole in one. So I do think he has sort of a sour taste in his mouth. But he does have a pretty good history at this course. He has won a show match here under the lights, so he knows the course. He's played it before. I do believe he has a good chance to win. He does have sort of a reputation for being a flat green merchant, but I do believe that he has what it takes to win. He's shown it before. He has one victory coming at the RIGT Championship last year, and that was a tough course. It wasn't sloped greens, but that was a course that really exposed some people. I mean, Benji Mako said it was, I don't think hardest, but the stupidest course he's ever played, as he finished tied third there at 15 under, and Astrojet beat him by 5. So I really do believe Astrojet can play well at tougher golf courses. Sloped greens, not too confident in him on, as he did finish fifth. He shot an 85 in his last round at the Masters to finish fifth, so it's just it can get there, but it's just a matter of consistency. His performance on sloped greens has got to be more consistent if he wants a chance to win. All right, so key questions is going to be our next section here. So as you can see, the first one here, can anyone beat Benji Mako? That is a great question. As you can see here, first at the Masters, first at the PGA, nobody's really consistently putting up good finishes besides Smalls, Astro, and Bobbert. I really don't think anyone's going to beat him. I do think he's going to win this tournament because he's just simply the best player. There's not a whole lot to it. I mean, every single tournament, no matter the course, he's always up there top three minimum, top one average. I mean, his average is a win. I mean, seriously, last two tournaments he has made it close though. 6 shot margin at the Masters and only a 2 shot margin at the PGA, which the top of the leaderboard I'll discuss in a later question here. But I really just think that Benji Mako, he's going to win this tournament. He is the best player. He's the most consistent, and he's going to win. And something I mentioned earlier, I just wanted to show the greens here. I mentioned the eighth green. This is a picture of the eighth green, and the neon green here is flat area, and this lighter green is sloped area. So this neon green here is what you can actually land the ball and stop it on. Excuse me. So it just really shows you only half of this green is going to be effective area. And when you're approaching this from like a 3 wood, I really don't think anyone is going to be able to hold a green consistently. Seriously, I mean, with bounces being inconsistent, the greens being this fast, this sloped, I don't think anyone's going to hold a green. It's all going to come down to short game and like where you leave yourself a miss. So as you can see here with the hole location being front right for the round one, if you miss right here, you have a straight uphill putt. Right here, straight uphill putt. So it's just going to be a matter of where you miss on these greens. I do believe that's something I did want to talk about, but I think that's a part of what makes this course so hard. Alright, another thing. It's Jonas's return. I believe I did talk about this in the last preview as well, but he's returning again. Didn't play at the Masters, so I'm excited to see what he can do because he used to be a top 2, top 3 player, so he definitely has the potential to be up there on any given, well, Wednesday as it would be this time, but I do believe that he has the potential to be up there on the final day of any tournament. He has the skill, but it's going to be questionable. He's never played sloped greens before, so that's would be my only concern, as I said, but we'll see how he does. All right, my third question here. Will the winner be over par? I do believe so. Some people, I would say a good amount of people, they don't believe any winner's going to be over par, especially with how quote easy RIGT is. I'll give them that. But this course is designed to be hard. It's meant to be hard. You're not going to hold a green easily. You're not going to get an easy tee shot minus a couple holes. It's just you're going to have to earn everything here. Nothing's given to you, as this course is probably the most insane course. I mean, there's parts of this course that are just downright diabolical. As another thing I'll showcase here, this is the higher tier right here, the second tier. This slope right here is so slight, but it's not flat, so it'll roll off the back. This one as well, slight, but it'll roll. I mean, this course is unforgiving. People are going to have to earn pars for that sake. I mean, it's going to be hard. And I do believe the winner will be over par because of that. There's not a whole lot of like funneling pins. There's not really much to give here. So I do believe the winner will be over par. Will the top of the leaderboard continue to condense? This is what I was mentioning earlier, as 2025 has shown this a little, and in general, harder tournaments have shown this. So at the Masters, not so much. From first to fifth, there is a 34 shot gap, but from first to fifth in the PGA, there was only a what is that, 21 shot gap? Not too bad. Harder courses tend to have smaller margins and gaps, as the RG Open last year, it had a 16 shot gap from first to fifth. I mean, if you're going to get a hard course, that's what it's going to give you. It's going to give you a condensed leaderboard, as first to fifth at last year's RIGT championship, which was notoriously hard, 13 shots. So these gaps at these harder tournaments, it's going to continue getting smaller and smaller. You're not going to have, spread out leaderboards where first place is at like 60 under and second place is at 20. I do believe that Benji Mako will win, but his margin of victory is not going to be big. Last time at the PGA, last tournament, 2 shots. I mean, it's there. I do believe somebody behind him has the potential to win if he's not playing well, but people really are going to have to earn it if they want to win because Benji Mako is just the best player. And I do believe at harder tournaments, like I said, the leaderboard's going to condense. So we're going to have some names up there that are going to be in contention, but how are they going to handle the pressure? Can they keep up with him? I just, the leaderboard, everybody else is going to have to earn it because with a tighter leaderboard, you're going to be there, but can you perform is the question. All right, my final question here is how will the golfers navigate such tough approaches? As I've shown here, you're hitting a 3 wood into the screen. 5 wood, maybe, driver, with the tee back, absolutely, you're not going to be able to hold this green 9 times out of 10. I mean, from the way I look at it, it's going to be all about where you miss. You're going to have to intentionally miss greens sometimes if you want to have the best chance of scoring. Like right here, short, right here, straight up hill putt, right, straight up hill putt. It's just going to be a matter of where you miss. Because if you get overly aggressive at these pins, which are tucked and fall away locations, you will be punished. You're not going to get away with anything with these pins and these greens with how fast they are. They are the definition of unforgiving. So if anybody is going to want to post a good score, you are going to have to play the most conservative rounds you've ever played. I mean, I don't know if I can stress that enough. If you play aggressive here, you're going to get punished. You have to know when you can play to a pin. You're going to have to use the greens books to know where you're able to miss on the greens, around the greens. You're just going to have to be knowledgeable. If you're undisciplined here, you're going to get punished. You're not going to win. I do believe that these harder tournaments, they bring out the most disciplined players, and that's why they're so good. These tournaments, I mean, they will bring out the most disciplined players. They'll condense the leaderboards. They will give us great tournaments. Just like we saw at the Masters, was a two-man race. So I really do think that the RG Open definitely has potential to be such a great tournament. It's just going to be a matter of discipline. Who is going to miss their shots in the right spot? Who is going to hold the greens on approach, knowing where to miss your approach? It's just going to be a matter of discipline and knowledge. You're going to have to use the greens books. You're going to have to learn from yourself mid-round with the removal of practice rounds. That's another thing I wanted to mention. No more practice rounds. So you're going to have to learn mid-round. You're going to have to take note of what you hit for the next day. You're you're going to have to just go along with it. So I think that will wrap it up here as I do this all in one take. And I really do hope you find this helpful, insightful, as I'm going to try and put out more content like this, especially for the British Open. I do want to get one out as well. This is being filmed the night before the tournament, so kind of rushing to get it done here. But I do hope at least one person finds this helpful, Just that, just that. So just look at the greens books, not much more to it. But I hope that this will teach somebody something about the tournament and give you a decent preview of it, some information. So, with all that being said, please subscribe as it would help, get notified for our more recent uploads, which I do want to post some in the recent future. So, with that being said, have a blessed day. Goodbye.